So hello students, welcome to EduTap and welcome to the second lecture of ARD static session. Today we are discussing about the types of field crop. So again in this lecture we will talk about the questions that are relevant and are important for your NABARD phase 2 examination. Okay, so let's start our class. So before that, if you are new here, do remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you want the PDF of this particular video, you can check our Telegram channel too. Okay, here all the videos are provided in next 24 hours. So let's start our class. So first of all, what will be our approach for the class? So we will discuss the paper, or we will discuss the topic in the MCQ form. Okay, we will take some question, what kind of language can be there, how you can confuse in some terms. So we will discuss it all, and then we will further discuss the topic. So that will be the approach for this lecture. So in the same regime, we will take our first question. So that is, which of the following statement is true? So you all know NABARD statement based questions are always there. So your statement is, first statement says the field crop are usually grown on a large scale, mainly for the consumption of mainly for consumption purpose. Okay, again today our topic is the field crop. So we will first of all should know what are the field crops. Okay, so the first statement say they are for consumption purpose. The second statement is they are usually annual. Okay, with the life cycle of 3 to 5 months. Then the field crop include maize, sorghum, soybean, wheat, barley, cotton, potato, sugarcane beet, hay or pasture. So see, the third statement can be a bit confusing. How? You might know the definition of field crop. You might know okay, they are annual. What is their life cycle? But in all the example, there might be the example of some other crops. Okay, not only the field crop, there might be the example of the other crops. So you should always be careful whenever there are the examples. So the options you can see here and try to give the answer now. So as Faria said, option E. Okay. This is quite easy if you know what the field crops are, and you will able to understand after we discuss this particular topic why field crops are important and how we can classify it. Okay, and the main purpose of classification, see what is this? So classification help us remember and understand the crop we are talking about and the characteristics of the crop. Okay, so Albert say all, Abhishek say D. So the correct answer here is all of the above. Okay, so now we will go to the definition of field crop and how we can classify it. See, first of all, we should know that they are grown on the large scale, especially for consumption. Not always, but the main purpose is consumption. So, because see, example can be the cotton. So, cotton is also a field crop. Okay, all the crops that are grown in the field are field crop. Main purpose is for consumption. Okay, to feed our population. But cotton, it mainly used for the fibers. Okay, then they are usually annual with a life cycle of 3 to 5 months. Okay, annual hote hain. It means 1 year mein they get germinate, complete their life cycle and also get harvested. Then example field crop include maize, sorghum. Example you can see all examples are here. Now what we will talk about? We will talk about the classification. So there are various ways through which the field crops can be classified. Okay, काफी सारी crop है. Most crops that are grown in the agriculture throughout the world come only in the field crop. तो इनको classify करना भी बहुत जरूरी है so that we can remember. So different characteristics are there. Based on that we classify the crop. Then ontogeny. Ontogeny means life cycle. That we will discuss. Then scientific and botanical classification is there. Seasons are there. Mode of pollination is there. Depth and system of root is there. Carbon dioxide fixation is there, and the climate is there. Okay, so we will discuss it one by one, but first of all we will discuss. So moving to the first one, the question is, which of the following is matched incorrectly? Okay, mahua is oilseed crop, tobacco commercial crop, beans oilseed crop, pea pulses crop, millet cereal crop. So you'll have to tell which one is not correct. Again, focus on the word, it says incorrect. Okay, so be aware when you are giving the answers. So the correct answer will be, okay, Albert says bean. Rajeshwari is also saying bean, that is option 3. Okay, so again here we will talk about the type. Okay, what is the Nitin has also given the answer. So of course the correct answer is your bean. Okay, that bean is not an oil seed. So what is bean? Now your question is, beans को categorize कैसे कर सकते हैं? What is the class? Which class crop is the bean? Try to get that. Okay, I'll give you an example कि कौन कौन सी classes होती है. So moving to that, see your field crop based on the use. What use or the purpose of the crop is. They can be cereal crop, sugar crop, pulses, commercial, forage, oil seed, green manure, fiber, and spices. Okay. So Albert has given the correct answer. Very good. The beans are the pulses crop. Okay, we will cover. See, these are quite easy. I think everybody for now know what are the grain cereals. Okay, they are basically grain that have good amount of starch, and usually around the world these cereal crops are staple. It means basic जो हम food खाते हैं that is made from cereal. Talking about India, what we eat? We mainly eat wheat and rice. Okay, then again some parts में sorghum is there, jowar, bajra, that all. So that class is your cereal. Moving to the pulse, see, good amount of protein is there. Okay, so these are the leguminous crop that are pulse crop. Again, if we talk about pulse crop, there can be three categories of pulse crop. First of all, there will be grams. Okay, like red gram you can see in the picture. Then there can be a bean. So what is the difference between these two? See, gram, they are usually what they happen before we consume it, we dry it. So drying is important here, but with the beans, sometimes they are used as the vegetable too. Okay, you can eat it through it as a form of vegetable. Then other thing you can do, you can dry it and use the seeds too. Now one interesting fact you should know that the soya bean, okay, so that is categorized as both. Okay, क्योंकि अच्छा amount of protein is there, good amount of oil is there, so soya bean is both the pulse seed and the oil seed crop. Moving to the next one, the third one is pea. So whatever pea, like chickpea and the normal pea that we eat, so that comes under the pea category. Okay, so that is the pulses class. Moving to the next class, that is your oil seed. So oil obtained from seeds, it is known as oil seed. So oil seed can be of your two types. First of all, edible, that you can consume. Okay, then non-edible, that means you can't consume it. Example, why? There might be some active that is harmful for you. Okay, so example, you can see castor is there, mahua is there, mahua is there. So these are non-edible, these are your non-edible oil seeds. Okay, so these are the categorization. We talk about cereal, and talking about cereal, to see what happens, there can be your major cereal and minor cereal. Your major cereal you can see, and the they are usually grain. They are usually called grains too. Okay, or major cereals. Then there are the minor cereal. They have smaller size, so they are also known as millet. Okay, so grain and millet is the category here. Gram, beans and pea is the category for the pulses class. Then moving to the oil seeds, we have edible oil seed and non-edible oil seed. I hope that is clear. Moving to the next class, that is our fibrous, not fiber, okay, fiber crop. So you can see the fiber crop can be of three category again. So that depend on where you are getting your fiber material from. Okay, so that becomes a category. Talking about the cotton, see, the cotton is obtained from the flower part. Talking about the jute, jute comes from the stem part. Then there is a gabe or hemp. In these two cases, the fiber comes from the leaves part. Okay, so I hope that is clear. That was our fibrous category or fiber crop. Talking about the sugar crops, where we can get the sugar from. Okay, so sugar cane, quite normal. Then sugar beets are there. They can also use to obtain the sugar. Then plantation crop. So plantation crop, we have discussed it yesterday too. So what are plantation crop? Their life cycle is long. More than 2 years is their life cycle. Okay, and they are basically commercial crops, as you can see in the picture. Now talking about the forage crop. See, I think everybody will be able to guess from, since we have discussed what the fiber crops are, you will be able to get the example of sugar crop, fiber crop, plantation crop too. But since forage crop are not much discussed, I have added the example too, so that it can be helpful for you. Okay, so forage, as you can see, what are forages? These are hay or the grass that we feed to our animal. Okay, so here we are feeding again, that's why they are field crop, but here we are talking about the animals. So you can see guinea is there, okay, and sitaria is there. So these are our forage crops. Now talking about spices and condiments. So you can see they add color and they add flavor to our food. Okay, so the quantity is not much. like in the case of grain we have discussed, like in the case of pulses we have discussed, these spices and condiment need to be added in a very small quantity. Okay, then talking about the manure crop, see again examples are given, sun hemp is there, okay, and danicha is there. So as you can see, what are these manure crop? Again, this manure crop will help to maintain the fertility of the soil. So when we are talking about the manure crop, these will go or add some nutrient to your crop. Okay. See, Albert, what happened? Fodder crop, usually with fodder we give it fresh. Okay, and when we talk about the forage crop, okay, so the forage crop can also be fermented, okay, and dried. So there is not much difference. These two terms are interchangeable, but the basic difference, if you want to know, that is that. Okay. Moving to the next one. So what type of crop germinate, grow, bear fruit and flower and die off in the same year? So we have discussed it. I think everybody will be able to give the correct answer. Your option are annual crop, biennial crop, perennial crop, herbs or the trees. Okay. So which one of these is the term used for the given definition? So Albert say annual. Okay. Rashri is also going with the annual. Rajeshwari, sorry, is also going with the annual. Very good. So of course your correct answer is annual. That is option A. Okay. Discussing what the other types are. So see, based on the ontogeny or the life cycle or the time period required to complete the life cycle, we can divide the field crop into three systems, that are annual crop, that are then your biennial crop, and then your perennial crops. Okay, so what are the annual crops? So they will complete life cycle in 1 year. Quite easy to understand, you will just have to give annual function hota hai schools mein. Okay, we do annual reports, we do, so that is 1 yearly. So whatever complete their life cycle in 1 year, that becomes your annual crop. Biennial, bi usually is the word that you use for two. So if you see word bi, that is automatically 2. So biennial crops are, they complete their life cycle in 2 years. Then there are perennial crops that they require more than 2 years or 3 years or more. You can say that are perennial crops. Okay, so that was the difference. So what you will have to remember, again, see annual crop, they are season based. Usually they require some range of temperature, okay, some range of rain, some monsoon is there. So they are seasonal crops. Again, that's why 3 to 5 years with that 3 to 5 months that we have discussed is for annual crop. So in this period they will grow, they will germinate, and they will give their seed of their own, and they will also die in this particular period. Moving to the biennial period, see, our annual crop didn't have much time to grow, but biennial crop have 2 years. So what they do for the first year, they only focus on vegetative growth. Okay, they will grow their leaves, they will grow their stems. So that is your biennial crop. So first year is used for vegetative growth. Okay, then what they will do for second year, they will go now started to give flowers or stalk or the seed that we can use to propagate them. Okay, so biennial crop you'll have to remember, since they have 2 years, one is for vegetative growth, another is for their reproductive growth, okay, or for giving of the seeds. Example, you can see sugar beet is there. Again, some surprising example, or some of you don't know or might not know, biennial crop. See, our onion and our carrots are also the biennial crop. That's why I have added the sugar beet is the example. Okay, then there are onion too and the carrot too. Moving to the perennial crop, these live for 3 or more years. Okay, trees we know. But beside that, what you'll have to see, these can be seed bearing and non-seed bearing, both kind, and lavender is also the example. Also the rose we have in our house. So these are also the perennial crop. Beside that, napier fodder grass is there, coconut is there. I think plantation crop we all know. These are under the perennial crop system. Okay, of course sugarcane is also there. Okay, moving to the next one. Question number 4. Which of the following is harvested in September to October? So time period is given. You will have to tell under which crop is there which is harvested in this particular time. So is it wheat, watermelon, moong, pea, or is it both moong and pea? Okay. See, for this you will have to, you might get confused कि पूछा कहाँ से? Is it random? No. See, we always talk about what? Rabi crops, we talk about Kharif crop, we talk about Zaid crop. So try to, classify it according to that. So So most of you are going with C and D. Moong and P, that is. So everyone seems to go with the E, and the correct option will be moong only. Okay, that is option C. So taking a look at the example C, you can see what you have to remember when we talk about Rabi crop and Zaid crop. One thing you should know or must remember is, first of all, time period of harvesting. At what time they are harvested, at what time they are sown. Remember these two periods. Okay, I think from there you will be able to guess the water requirements too. That is not much to remember. Again, Rabi, see, winter crop is there. So of course, water requirement will not be as much as the Kharif crop. That is go by the name of wet summer crop. Okay, so they particularly wait for the monsoon to grow. Okay, then going by the example, these are very important that you will have to remember. Okay, you can pause the video and you can study that. So Zaid crop, most of the people know about Rabi and Kharif. Some people don't know about Zaid crop. So Zaid crop is grown in between them. So dry summer crop are Zaid. Mostly our fruits and vegetable comes under the Zaid crop too. Okay, water requirement you can see. Okay, the western disturbances is the source. Again, monsoon is the source, and they need irrigation. Of course, I have given the example. You can see P is your Rabi crop. Okay. That's why I have added P, because I thought since these two are, moong and P, both are pulses, so I thought everybody will get confused. But see, some pulses are here, some pulses are here. So be very careful when you are studying the examples. Okay, moving to the next question. So pollination is done by wind. So here we are coming to the classification according to the agent. So you will have to tell, what will be the term used when the pollinating agent is our wind? Is it anemophily, hydrophily? Is it melitophily, psychophily, or windophily? Okay. So Albert is going with the option A. Okay, Aishwarya is also going with the option A. So most of you are going with the option A, and that you will be absolutely correct. The answer is anemophily. Talking about the pollination, see, the pollination, first of all, you should know about the plant part and animal part. Also, female part and the male part in the flower. So male part is your anther. Female part, when we talk about, is usually pistil. Okay, so if both part in the same flower, we'll say it's a bisexual flower. If both male part is in different flower, female part is in the different flower, then we will say it's a unisexual flower. Okay, then see, for fertilization or successful pollination, what we need to do, we need to transfer the pollen from anther to stigma. Okay, from the male part to the female part, we need to transfer the pollen. So if that happen in the same flower, yeah, suppose there is one plant, and from this particular flower, the pollen is moving to the stamen of this particular flower, or in this particular flower, there is stamen, there is anther, and the pollen is moving from the anther to stamen. So in that case, we will say this is a self-pollination. Okay. Then moving to the natural cross-pollination. In cross-pollination, there are two different flowers. Okay, from different plant, and pollen move from the stamen. Pollen move from the anther to the stamen of some different flower. Okay, so that is our cross pollination. You can see the difference. The advantage of cross pollination is genetic differences made from the cross pollination. You can see the example of both. Again, examples become very important. Question can directly come कि self pollinated कौन सा होता है? Okay, self pollinated flower कौन सा है? Cross pollinated flower कौन सा है? The question can appear from that only. Now talking about the pollination, see, for pollination, there is one self-pollination that we have discussed in autogamy. Sometimes the pollination, that is cross-pollination or xenogamy and allogamy, that is done by some biotic agent. Talking about the self-pollination, that is if the wind is the agent, okay, जो carry कर रहा है, वो wind कर रही है, okay, जब हवा चल रही है उसकी वजह से pollen transfer हो रहे हैं, so we will call it anemophily. And if the water is the agent, such in the aquatic plant, okay, in that case, what we say? We say that's a hydrophily. Talking about the zoopoly, it means when some biotic agents are involved, what we call it? If beetles are there, okay, that is canthrophily. Then you can go for moth, bees, butterfly, snail, bird, bat, and so different terms are there. If you want to remember, then you'll have to pause the video or download the PDF and try to remember that. Okay, just the term is more than important. So moving to the next question now. So question number 6 asks, which of the following is matched correctly? So shallow root crop, is it rye? Deep root crop, is it wheat? Deep root crop, is it onion? Intermediate root crop, alfalfa. Shallow root crop, wheat. So you'll have to tell which one is correct. In last question we asked incorrect. Now we are talking about the correct matching terms. Okay. So if you don't know, no worries. But if you know, try to get the answer. Okay. Shallow wheat, that is option E. Okay. Okay, most of you are going with the option E, and that is absolutely correct. Shallow root crop is wheat. Okay, talking about the root system, see what happened. Your root go deep in the soil. So how much the depth that is required by the root to penetrate, that becomes your depth of the root system. So based on the depth that root penetrate, the shallow root crop, intermediate root crops and the deep root crops are there. Again, what you have to remember, you'll have to remember the value. So less 1 meter or less is shallow, 1 point up to 5 meter, one say 1.5 meter is intermediate, more than 1.5 becomes your deep root crops. You can see the examples here. This was quite simple and quite easy. Okay, so we will move to the next question now. So which of the following is true regarding the conventional agriculture? So agriculture. So this is wrong, not conventional agriculture. We are talking about the root system. Okay, we have talked about the depth. Here we are talking about the root system. So fibrous root system are usually absent in monocots. The primary root with the branches from forms the taproot system. Then adventitious root arise from the part of the plant other than the radicle. So you will have to tell that your options are these. So you will have to tell which one is true. Okay, so this is a statement based question. Again, NABARD asks this question, especially in the mains, very much. Okay, so you will have a good amount of paragraph and you'll have to give the answer. And Albert has given the answer, option D. Okay, so that means 2 and 3 is correct. So seems like many people don't know about the root system, so we will quickly discuss it. The correct answer is only 2 and 3. Okay, so talking about this system, see, first of all we will divide the root system into 3 systems. That is taproot, that is mainly found on the dicots. Okay, what kind of taproot system is there? Like this. So main root is there and from there the other branches will go. Then talking about the fibrous root, that is found in the monocots. You can see there is no main root. So what happens, see, even in the fibrous root system there was initially the taproot system. Okay, then with time that got replaced by the fibrous root system that you can see. So there are many branches even from the top. So primary root is short and replaced by the large number of root. Then there are adventitious root. In adventitious root there are some kind of changes. Okay, and some other function that adventitious root or the root have developed, or sometimes the root is not even develop from the radicle. Usually in these two the root system develop from the seed, the root system come from the radical part, but here the root come from some other part. We are talking about banyan tree. So you know from the stem root part come out and it acts as for the support. Then prop roots are there, straight roots are there, pneumatophorik roots are there. They'll in the log condition where water is too much, daldal wali conditions jo hoti hai, what happen, the root come out of the soil, okay, to get the oxygen. So they are also acting to absorb the oxygen, and that is example is rhizophora. Here your homework is you will have to give me example, at least 2 example of taproot, fibrous root and adventitious root. Okay, so this will be your homework. Do let me know in the comment the taproot ke 2 example, fibrous root ke 2 example and adventitious root ke 2 example. Moving to the next question, sorghum is a dash plant. So you'll have to tell, is it a C3 plant, C4 plant, cam plant, xeric plant or a temperate plant? Okay. So talking about these C3, C4, cam, what are these? Okay, these are the carbon fixation. So talking about C3 plant वो होते हैं जिसमें जो कार्बन साइकिल जब चलता है, the first stable compound only contain 3 carbon atom. ओके जो स्टेबल कंपाउंड है उसके 3 कार्बन के एटम होते हैं. सिमिलरली नाम से पता चला है C4 में द फर्स्ट कंपाउंड दैट इज देयर विल हैव 4 कार्बन एटम. So that is why carbon fixation C3 and C4 are there. So most of you are going with option C. Okay, so most of you are going with the C4. That is option B, and you will be absolutely correct. The sorghum, when we talk about, are the C4 plant. So discussing the C4, C3, C4 plant and the CAM plant. So first of all, simply जैसे photosynthesis you are doing, the plant कौन सी तरह की photosynthesis prefer कर रहा है, they will become the plant C3 plant, C4 plant and CAM plant. Talking about the C3 plant, they will have the first again carbon compound is 3 carbon, 4 carbon. In the CAM again 4 carbon compound is formed. Okay, but in these two the difference is according to what kind of compound is there that is made in the carbon fixation cycle. Here the difference comes where the fixation of carbon is taking place. Okay, so you can see the space that is taken to complete this photosynthesis, according to that C4 and CAM plant is there. Again what you have to remember, just remember कि crops मिलती क्या है, you will be able to guess the answer. So in temperate most plant are C3. Even in the world, most plant, almost 85% plant are C3 plants. Okay, so most of your plants will be C3 plant. Talking about the C4 plant, so here the tropical, semi-tropical, where good light is there. Okay, so there we can find the C4 plant, and these are your examples. Then going by the CAM plant, these are usually the desert or arid or xeric plants. Okay, we have also given the term xeric. So xeric are those plants that are found in the desert or arid condition. Okay, very hot environment is there. You can say cacti, orchids and pineapple is there. The CAM kind of plant. Okay, so if you the difference is not clear, or you are somebody who don't know what C3, C4 plant, I have added this particular slide. If you go in detail, that will take too much time. But if your basic are not clear, you can read C3, C4 plant, then you can see the picture. Okay, C4 यहाँ बन रहा है पहला compound, C2, then C3 compound will be formed here, and C4 compound will be formed here. Okay. So that was that. If you don't know, you can pause the video, or you will just when you download the PDF, just remember to read this particular slide. Okay, moving to the next question. So question 9 asks you, which of the following is correct again? So temperate plant require exposure to a specific chilling temperature for a certain period to flower. So here we are talking about the climate that is required by the crop plant. So tropical fruit plant are generally the evergreen and are extremely sensitive to the cold. Sorry, the temperate plants are usually able to withstand a low temperature but not the frost. So is A or C statement correct, or all the statements are correct? You will have to tell. So Albert said A, B, C, all are correct. Okay. Try to give the answer. Here we are discussing about the climate. That means the temperature condition that are required by the plant. Okay. So most of you are still going with the option E. So let's see, the correct answer is option E. Very good. Now discussing this particular topic, see, according to the temperature there are 3 categorization, and this kind of categorization is usually seen in the fruits. Okay, so in horticultural plant, this kind of classification is usually in the field crop we don't talk about because they are little hardy than the horticultural plants. But in the horticultural plant, the temperature is very important factor, because flowering, seeding, to develop the flower, the temperature is a good factor. So that is why whenever we are categorizing the crops according to the climate, usually the fruit or the horticulture system follows the same. So do remember it. Okay, so horticulture का भी आपका एक part prepare हो जाएगा. Talking about the temperate food. See, temperate, when we will talk about the cold. So temperate crop, that means they need cold. Okay, and even to the flower, to give the flower, they need to need some kind of cold condition. Usually we see that in the apple too. Okay, peaches too we see that in. Okay, these plants generally are dioecious and stand the frost. Okay, frost they can stand. It means the icing condition are there. If the ice fall is there, snowfall is there, they can withstand it. Talking generally evergreen and tropical fruit crops or the tropical crops, these are evergreen crops, and they are extremely sensitive to the cold. Okay, so they can't withstand the cold. So they are just temperate fruit crops are opposite to tropical fruit crops. Okay, India में आपने बताना है कि tropical आपको ज्यादा मिलेगी कि temperate मिलेगी कि दोनों मिलेंगी. Okay, so the plants are generally grown in the region between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. So who can tell me? This is quite easy. इसके latitudes क्या हैं? So try to give the answer of that. So they do well in the lesser fluctuation. Okay, diurnal temperature, light and dark periods are required. Moist environment, again warm environment is required. Example you can see. Then talking about the subtropical crop. See, any crop that is found between these two will become the subtropical crop. It means they can't withstand very drought condition. The tropical crops somewhat can withstand the very warm temperature, but not the tropical crop can withstand little bit of drought or dry condition, but not the subtropical crop. Again, temperate crop can withstand the frost temperature, so they can withstand cold but not the frost condition. So they are in between these two, temperate crop and tropical crop. In between them is the subtropical fruit crops. So these crop climatic condition between temperate and tropical, they may either be dioecious and evergreen. Can between two है तो दोनों हो सकती हैं, ठीक है. They can withstand low temperature but not frost. They are also adapted to the fluctuation of light and dark reaction and day and night. So as you can see, and these are the examples. So everybody is giving the answer 23.5. Of course, very good. So Tropic of Cancer ऊपर होती है कि Tropic of Capricorn ऊपर होती है? That you'll have to tell. North or south? Okay, Cancer north, Capricorn south. Very good. That is absolutely correct. So if everybody now knows कि Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn के हमारे latitude क्या है. Okay, so that was all for the video. Your homework, you'll have to tell the example of taproot root system that we have discussed. So give at least try to give 2 example in the comment section. Okay, that was all for the class today. I hope you are preparing well for your NABARD examination. The exam result will be soon out, and we will move to the phase 2 exam. Okay, phase 2 of the NABARD examination. So that was all. Thank you so much for attending the lecture. If you like the lecture, do let me know that in the comment section. Thank you so much and have a nice day.